fantasy football. Here we are talking value plays at the wide receiver position. We're going to give you a few good values, a few bad values here. Why don't you kick us off?
I think we got to lead it off with another one of my boys that I have in a 5-keeper league that we're in. So nobody out there that's in our keeper league listening can ever say your favoritism, you're not shitting on your own dudes. Well, I shit on Sony Michel in the running back video we just did, and now I'm going to take a dump all over my boy, Mike Williams.
Big Mike. This guy's getting drafted smack dab in the middle of the 5th round, which might not seem that crazy.
I mean, that's hype. I mean, that's hype train. I mean,
but you're looking at the guys around him, and I think it's just belligerent at this point for some of the guys he's getting drafted over.
I mean, you're looking at in front like a half round in front of guys like Calvin Ridley. I mean, that's insane, right? That's insane. I mean, you're looking at, and then you go a little deeper. Tyler Lockett, a guy who's a bone. I mean, he only had same amount of targets, kind of did the same thing as Mike, had the 10 touchdowns, had the low amount of targets. But you got to think with Baldwin out of town, his target share, there's an area for his target share to go up.
And there's really nowhere these targets can go. When we're talking about Big Mike,
yeah.
All right, maybe he had 66 targets last year.
Yeah.
Let's say he gains 20 targets, which is pretty crazy because, I mean, the running back positions last year had 138 targets.
138 targets.
The running backs.
Combined with Eckler, Justin Jackson, and Melvin Gordon.
And then you have the addition of Hunter Henry.
Yeah, I'm not a Hunter Henry believer, but if he's on the field, it's not like he's getting 0 targets. I mean, he's going to get more targets than the ghost of Antonio Gates was getting in his stead, right? Has to.
I mean, there's one wide receiver that walked out the door, so we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. We're going to say he adds 20 targets, which is a pretty big increase. So we're talking, with these averages, we're going to say he goes up to 55 catches. We're going to say he goes up to 820 yards, and we're going to give him the same 10
Give him the
receiving
10
touchdowns.
We're taking away that rushing touchdown, though. You're not getting that one.
We're going to say he's going to get 10 tutties. With this production, with the addition of the 20 targets, he's still under 200 PPR points.
Full point. He's still under full point PPR points at 197 with the 55, the 820 yards, and the 10 touchdowns. And that's a significant uptick from last year. I mean, that's giving him 150 more yards. That's giving him 12 more receptions.
You know, like 100 last year.
And that's allowing his insane touchdown total to stay the same.
He had 43 catches on the 66 targets last year and 640 yards. The hay was those 11 total tutties. You take away those, let's even just cut him in half. This guy is... No, we're not even talking about him in single digits in drafts, I don't think. I think maybe 8th, 9th round, but not 5th round.
Yeah, you keep digging, looking at, he's going a full round and a half over Tyler Boyd. I mean, that's insane, right? I mean, you keep digging deeper, and then he's going...
Even A-Rob?
2.5 rounds before Allen Robinson, who... I mean, are you telling me that Mike Williams is guaranteed more targets than Allen Robinson? You're out your mind. You're out your mind, and he's going a full 2.5 rounds later. That's insane.
Let's stay in the 5th round.
I love the guy, but I mean, I'm talking myself out of it as we speak. What is happening?
All right, let's stay in the 5th round here. Basically the same position with Big Mike.
Same thing.
It's Chris Godwin here. And I know that his target share is due to go up, but we're talking 5th round. Like, this is guaranteed he is going to be the guy. And I just don't know if he is.
I am not ready to say he is. Because, you know, you get into other guys that I'm not necessarily a believer on. You dig a little deeper, and you get into, like, Corey Davis, who's going into that mid-8th round. So he's going 3 full rounds later than Chris Godwin and Mike Williams. And at least you can say about Corey Davis is he's most definitely the #1 wide receiver on his football team. And you can't say that about those other guys. And I don't know if there's... I mean, Mike Williams maybe in some crazy realm can overtake Keenan Allen in production with Keenan Allen on the field. Maybe. But can Chris Godwin do that to Mike Evans? No.
I mean, I do like Chris Godwin, I think, a lot more than I do Mike Williams. I mean, he had nearly 60 catches last year, over 800 yards. So he has shown that you can put him in a lineup and he can produce for you. But I just really think that this price is a little too steep for me to get about it.
It's just, I mean, you are strapping this on. This is your wide receiver 2 at the beginning of the season. Like, you're all in on Chris Godwin or Mike Williams at these mid-fifth rounds, and I don't know if I'm ready to say that. I mean, if you're looking to take a shot on a guy that might get a much higher target share, you know, with an uptick at quarterback, you know, a better team, I think I'm going Christian Kirk or Corey Davis in the 8th round.
I was going to say better team, I don't know there.
I didn't say better team. Did I say better team? I said better team, I lied. But, you know, like, no, a better offensive, like a better quarterback. Like, you know, the arrow is pointing up for the offensive capabilities of the Arizona Cardinals. And Fitzgerald, you know, he's still, you know, he's had that one foot in the grave for about 5 years now. But, you know, it's getting a little bit deeper. Maybe he's got a foot and a half. Maybe he's
I don't
got
know.
a foot and a half.
Honestly, I'm kind of feeling the sleeper Fitzgerald. We're talking like 10th round Fitzgerald. He might be that rookie safety blanket. I don't know. I feel like last year, I mean, it might just be about it. It might be a one-year fluke. We'll see.
I mean, yeah, if you're looking to take a leap on, you know, second-year guys out there that have big ceilings and you might be able to get done, second, third-year guys, I think I'd lead 3 rounds later with Corey Davis and Christian Kirk.
Yeah, like though both those guys are solidified in the 8th round at this point. We're talking 3 full rounds. And basically dart plays in my eyes. I mean, like you said, in the 5th round, I feel like you are counting on them to be your second best wide receiver.
Even DJ Moore's going 2 rounds later than Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I mean, my goodness.
Let's get one more guy. Currently going at the last pick in the 4th round, Kenny Galladay. Me personally, I absolutely love Kenny Galladay. I just don't really know that for this position where he's getting drafted that you're going to see that value.
Yeah, I mean,
like we said, every report coming this offseason is a run-first offense. And Marvin Jones coming back as well.
Yeah, Marvin Jones is getting drafted like a full 4 or 5 rounds later.
Yeah, we've got him right here in our good value section. Marvin Jones is currently getting drafted in the 9th round.
9th round.
Almost over twice as far deep in is Kenny Galladay.
And are you willing to go 2-1 on Kenny Galladay outscoring Marvin Jones on the season? I don't know.
I mean, I feel like both of these guys can be
I love me some Kenny G, though.
I mean, I love him a lot. I just don't know if he's, when we're talking 5 full rounds over Marvin Jones' own teammate.
All right, who's the 4th round wide receivers? We're going to look at the 4th round wide receivers here and decide which Kenny Galladay, like Brandon Cooks. Kenny Galladay or Brandon Cooks?
I feel like you have to go Cooks.
I think you got to go Cooks. I think he's guaranteed wide receiver 2. I think he's going to get you that 80 balls. I think he's going to get that 1,100 yards. He's going to get 7 or 8 touchdowns. That's always what he's done. Julian Edelman.
And I'm a big Edelman guy. I feel like with Gronk out the door, Hogan out the door. I mean, him and James White, I feel like are going to catch every single ball from Tom Brady's arm this year.
If you're talking about full point PPR, I think you got to go Edelman.
I feel like this guy can easily catch 100 to 110 balls. I mean, that's crazy, but I really think it can happen.
Then you get into the other 2 Rams wide receivers, and Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp, who are like sandwiching Chris Galladay here, or Kenny Galladay here, in that 4th round.
See, this is tough. Honestly, I'm not a huge Robert Woods guy. I don't know why. But I feel like he's just a much safer play. He's a tremendous route runner, and with Cooper Kupp coming off of injury, I feel like getting that foot in the door for Woods really solidified him in the offense. I would maybe put
highest ceiling. I think Galladay's got the highest ceiling.
Highest ceiling, yeah. I would put Kupp 3rd out of those 3 guys just for the sake of coming off the injury.
I love me some Kupp though. I think as far as high ceiling goes, I think I go Galladay, Kupp, and then Woods in that ranking. But I think Woods is probably the safest play of the 3.
But like we said, the guys above him, when we're talking Cooks and Edelman, surefire. I would take 100% every day over Galladay.
All right, baby.
All right, let's talk about some guys. I know we kind of mentioned some of these guys. We're talking about people that we draft, or at least wait on some of these guys instead of drafting up high. Tyler Lockett, smack dab middle of the 6th round. Like we said, the low targets last year, and still was solid mid-range wide receiver 2, and his target share is only due for an uptick.
Yeah, he didn't have just 1 or 2 big games where he scored 3 touchdowns. He had 10 touchdowns in
10 games.
10 separate games. So production is there. I think there's no way Tyler Lockett isn't at least a back-end wide receiver 2. And going in the mid-6th round, I mean, he's getting drafted as a wide receiver 3 almost.
I don't see how he's not a top 20 wide receiver again.
He's getting drafted like he's not. With Baldwin gone, I know they got DK coming into town.
But I feel like DK at this point
might take coverage, babe.
That's true. I mean, I really think he's a one-trick pony.
If they put Lockett more in the
but
slot, if Lockett gets that slot work that Baldwin was always getting, I don't think there's any way these targets don't go up to 100 from 70 to at least 70 to 100. I mean, that's a big leap. I mean, even with maybe you take away a couple touchdowns because DK's in town. He's at 7 or 8 touchdowns. With those extra targets, you can get up there in that 1,100 to 1,200 yard range with the good, 75 catches. And I don't think there's any way he's not a wide receiver 2, even on a run-heavy team like the Seahawks. And he's getting drafted in the mid-6th round with no respect.
I mean, 57 catches, you have to say an over for next season. 965 yards, I feel like he gets 1,000.
I think you can put him at 1,100.
The only thing is the touchdowns. I mean, like we said, 10 touchdowns in 10 years. But even if he goes down, say to 8 touchdowns, the extra receptions, the extra yards are easily going to wash that
at
over
least
for
keep
an additional like 30 fantasy points in the PPR realm.
At least keep him at the same stat line as he was last year. If that's the case, mid-6th round, sexy deluxe. If he can repeat, I mean, touchdowns go down, but the receptions and yards go up. If he can get to that same, he was like what? The wide receiver 16?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it was 16th PPR last
even in full point PPR, so he was probably even a little bit better in the standard league because he wasn't, he's only getting the 54 receptions or whatever. But still, I think no respect on 6th round, even with the Baldwin news. I can't believe it. I mean, people must be really thinking DK is just going to go in there and steal the show, and I don't think so.
I'm not a DK believer at this. Like I said, I think at this point in his career, coming in as a rookie, he's kind of a one-trick pony. He's going to be catching the deep ball, and he's probably going to be a red zone threat. But other than that, I don't see him working over the middle, getting wiggle, catching them 5-yard ins or anything like that. All right, again, another guy that we touched on earlier, we're talking late 7th round, Allen Robinson. And I'm in love with it at this point.
I think it's sexy deluxe. I mean, he's getting drafted as a wide receiver 3 that has high-end wide receiver 2 upside in my eyes. I don't think he's going to do what he did a few years ago with the 80, the 1,400, and the 14 touchdowns.
No, that's not happening.
That ship sailed. It's out of
I think
town.
a lot of that's just garbage points.
I think you're looking at maybe 75. I think he can get to the 1,000, maybe 1,100.
I'd say like 900 yards. But like you said, I feel like the 70 catches, and I think he's going to be able to get you 7 to 10 touchdowns.
I was going to say 9 or 10 touchdowns is not out of the realm of possibility for Allen Robinson. I think the Bears offense is going to take another step forward this year, and people are talking about the Bears have all these mouths to feed, and I'm looking around, and I'm like,
the wide receivers really aren't that great.
No. I mean, Anthony Miller might take a step forward. Taylor Gabriel is probably looking to take a step back out there. And I mean, Cordell Patterson's a gadget guy.
I feel like Gabriel's kind of a gadget guy as well.
I think Cordell Patterson's going to do a lot of taking Gabriel's work. And I know the Tariq Cohen and Montgomery are going to get their looks as well, but I don't know. I mean, this guy is a wide receiver 1 on his football team, no questions asked. Going into that late 7th round, I mean, he's getting no respect out there. I mean, my goodness. How are you going to draft Will Fuller over Allen Robinson? Gross.
I mean, the ceiling on Will Fuller is insane, but the guy simply can't stay on the field.
No.
And Kiki Kuti really played well in the games that he was healthy, too.
Yeah, when Kiki was healthy, when they were both on the field, Will Fuller did not get it
If he didn't catch a touchdown, I don't even think he had targets.
How are you going to
there were games that he would have 2 catches for 2 touchdowns in the season. But back to A-Rob, people forget he tore his ACL week 1 in Jacksonville 2 years ago. So he really didn't have much of an offseason at all to get going with Mitch. This year you have a full offseason with Trubisky. Last year down the stretch, come playoff time, and even like week 15 through 17, really started getting chemistry with A-Rod.
Oh,
so we're talking full offseason, finally getting some chemistry with the guy that I really think is a prototype number 1 wide receiver.
Yeah, I was at that playoff game versus the Eagles. That game was sad. And
what do you have, like 11 catches?
The double doink. Yeah, he had like 11 catches for like 140 yards out there just eating. And most of that came in like the second half because that, the Bears offense was shitting down their leg the entire first half. But I mean, if anybody shined in that garbage playoff loss to the Eagles, it's gotta be Allen Robinson. And even when he leaves that sweet taste in your mouth, all people remember is the double doink, and I think that's a reflection of this late 7th round draft pick.
You want everyone in your draft to be remembering that double doink, right? So you can snipe this guy in the 7th. And if we're talking this is your 3rd or 4th wide receiver on your team, I think you can feel really good about it.
Absolutely. If he's your 4th wide receiver, I mean, that is so sexy, baby. If you're one of these guys that, lets the quarterback just go,
Yeah, get your quarterback in like the 8th to 10th round. I mean, you can still find value down there.
Yeah, when maybe the tight end ship is sailed. I mean, even if you're drafting this guy, I mean, this is wide receiver 3 territory bare minimum in the late 7th round.
Yeah.
Well, who else we got? One more. Corey Davis, touched on him earlier. Not really a big, I'm
not a huge Corey Davis fan, but when we're talking about the mid-8th round,
there's just value to be had.
This is a guy who is a number 1 wide receiver. Was drafted, number 5 overall in the NFL draft. So they drafted him to be the man in this offense. I mean, there are some additional weapons around him now, maybe to take some pressure off in coverage.
He's seriously getting taken 6 picks before DK Metcalf. I mean, that's completely insane in my eyes. I mean, complete unproven. There's a reason why DK Metcalf slipped to that last pick in the 2nd round. Everybody's thinking he's going to go 1st round, where a lot of these NFL teams are seeing that maybe he's just not. Maybe he's a Darius Hayward Bay motherfucker.
I mean, let's put these stats right up against some of the guys that we're talking about in Godwin and Mike Williams, 5th round getting drafted. Here's a guy, full 3 rounds later, he caught 65 balls last year. That's right on board with what these guys caught last year. Way more than Mike.
Yeah.
And then we got 891 yards. That's more than both Godwin and Mike. The only thing is he only had 4 touchdowns. I mean, if we're talking he had 10 touchdowns last year, this guy is a 4th round pick.
Yeah, I mean, the Titans offense, is what it is, but I mean, at least he's the wide receiver on his own team. These teams are going to have to be forced to stop Derrick Henry. It's going to be a lot of 7-8 men in the box. And it's going to be single coverage with Corey Davis on the outside. I mean, in the middle of the 8th round, I just think, I'm not even a Corey Davis believer, but if you're just handing him to me in the middle of the 8th, I think I'm down, man.
Let's give him one more bonus guy. I know he said it, but Marvin Jones again. 9th round Marvin Jones. We're talking about his own teammate Galladay getting drafted in the 4th.
I mean,
at the end of the year, we could be talking there's maybe 10 to 15 PPR points difference between these two guys. You're talking you can sit 5 rounds on him.
Of all the guys that we got listed in the undervalued list here, Marvin Jones is definitely my least favorite and my least targeted. But
if we're talking he's available in the 9th round at this point, when we're talking other guys in the 9th round here.
He started off last year very well. You're talking about your Devin Funches.
And we're talking drafting DK Metcalf or Marvin Jones.
I think you gotta go.
Or Geronimo Allison.
Oh, yes.
If you gotta pick Geronimo Allison or Marvin Jones.
Devin Funches and.
What about James Washington? Picking James Washington or Marvin Jones?
I think you gotta go Marvin Jones. I hate the Lions. I hate the Lions, but my goodness. I mean, if you're talking about 9th round, I mean, that's borderline bye week fill-in of a guy who
like if you're talking about you're at your day party, people are already drunk in the 9th round. You're talking you're drafting Marvin Jones drunk?
Trade him to those punks in week 3 for some sex. That's what you do. That's what you do. Let Marvin Jones go out there weeks 1 and 2 and look sexy and be like, all right, man.
There it is. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe, comment. We love hearing you guys. We'll get back at you.
Tell us what you think about the new digs here we are working on. We have a wooden sign commission to slap on the front of this thing. Go and get some LEDs up under the lip here to shine down on it, baby. And we're working on this lighting situation we got. It's burning the side of my face, I do realize, but we are working on trying to get it more sexy. Maybe some Oprah mics in the future. I don't know.
Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you next time.
Cheeseburger.